So we've got a short agenda today. First of all, we'll establish a quorum. And so we have three of us. That's enough to make a quorum. Then we have to approve the minutes from our last meeting. And I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes as submitted.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second that.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Did you get a copy of the summary that I sent around?
Yes.
Okay. The one issue we have in all of this is the COA looking for $4 million for a permanent home.
Well,
And we don't have anything to back this up or any firm plans, even though everyone said, yeah, it's a good idea that the COA have a permanent home. That's as far as it's gone.
Right.
And so what I intend to do when I talk to FinCom or send this over to FinCom is explain that we really don't have anything except the ability to say, let's start a plan or start the planning process for this, rather than putting this before the annual town meeting as a $4 million line item, budget item. I did look up what they are paying for rent and what that would be able to support were it used for a simple interest 30-year loan. And what they're paying for rent would be the equivalent of paying down in 30 years in between a 1.3 and a $1.5 million loan. So this is considerably bigger than that. And just a second. So that's where we have on that. Any other thoughts, comments?
no, it is, it's almost like black and white, Marshall. It's so crystal clear that, we're talking apples to oranges here.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm just comparing it to the school effort. They're in module 1. They just got approved last year. So that once they get all the paperwork in, here's we're going to build a new one or we're going to renovate. Then they go in, and module 2 is like, getting the plans and the architects and getting the estimates, and then module 3. So that's years in the future. So
well, we've got that years in the future. We've got several other potential capital needs, including the firehouse on Morgan Ave.
correct.
And then the amount of money that we're putting forward to just look at what we have to do in capital needs in other buildings. What I started to do, and will continue to do this with Tracy's help, and we'll put it together for the group, hopefully sooner rather than later, is a budgeting proposal to look at establishing a fund for future capital needs based on what we have for our buildings in the town. Right now, our capital program, we take care of things that are going to be 5 years or more and relatively short-lived assets, trucks, computers, things like that. But we have looked at in the our annual town meeting is approved putting money aside for things in the future. I think it behooves us as the Capital Planning Committee and the FinCom to take a look at maybe doing that on a more regular basis for our capital needs that are going to come up in buildings as well. So,
Well, Marshall, how do you prioritize the building needs for the town for the next, let's be, conservative, 5 years and, you know, and even futuring out a little bit more, 10 years? I mean, what are the most important projects? I mean, would a new town hall that was voted down last year, would that be considered in the top 3?
well, what I'm thinking, Joe, is not so much doing the prioritization, but saying if there were a budget, okay, how long do these long-lived resources go, and how much does it take to replace them? One, and two, would the town be willing to fund a savings account really for these long-term assets at maybe 50%, so that we don't hit everything at full boat and then go into lending? Having money in the bank can save us a considerable amount in interest expenses if the town is willing to do that. But I think what my point is right now is to put something together, spreadsheet and then a presentation, just to acquaint people with the idea of long-term capital budgeting.
Right. Because we know we got Triton, we know we got the fire station on Morgan Avenue, and then of course Whittier got approved for to start over again, Module 1, and so those are just some of the big items along with the COA. So
Right. And we have the town barn,
yep.
which has been condemned once already.
Yes. Yes.
So, but rather than, sort of look and pick and poke, putting them all on a sheet and doing some work, because when we looked at how these assets live, we do 30-year plans for paying off a loan for them. But in fact, the life of them, in the study that I did, very often the median is closer to 70 years or more that these buildings are still useful. And some of them are well over 100 years. If you look across the street at the Yellow School, that one is now about 122 years old.
Wowza.
So, and it's not about to fall down. It's with maintenance, these things are really long lasting, but to do a little upfront planning, I think is worthwhile.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. I would entertain a vote to approve this report to FinCom.
Second.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Is there anything else we need to go over today?
No, I think the next FinCom is next Tuesday and it was just posted.
Yep. They just
Okay.
we're meeting next Tuesday, and Erica just sent the agenda out. So
Okay. I will get this over to Erica this afternoon, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
All
Joe.
right. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.